We are live.
Well, good evening everyone. And I think it's finally able for us to say that we're here at what is the most beautiful circuit that I have ever commentated over and witnessed in my entire existence of racing. And that is the circuit de Spa Franchorchamps, and that is where we are tonight for the 2018 G.E.A.R Multiclass Endurance Pack series run by SimRacingOnline. And this is going to be a very different style of championship to the ones that we've broadcasted before. See, we have the Honey Jar Group C series on Assetto Corsa, which is mainly a single class sprint series. We have had the Formula 3 series, which we've broadcasted, which is single class Formula 1 cars. And we have this, which is going to be multi-class. So we've got LMP2, which is going to be running the Oreca 07, the most recent LMP2 car released by the Oreca firm. And then in GTE, well, we've got the Porsche 991 RSR, which is absolutely glorious, and I'm still having trouble getting over the engine sounds of that thing. We have the BMW M8 GTE, which is the most recent BMW. It's a bit heavier, but still is about as quick. And then we have the pretty much what has been the stable GTE car for the past, well, probably past couple of decades, which is the Chevrolet Corvette. If you recognise any car on this group, you'll probably recognise the Corvette of everything because it's been around the GTE paddock for decades now. So great to see the amount of cars we've got here today. Amazing. Obviously, only 1.5 hours of a race, so nothing too long, nothing too short. It means you can either single driver or double driver these cars, which is going to be either we'll have driver changes and one of us will get confused at some point of who's in the car now, or we'll have a really clean race of just everyone driving the car on their own. But a very big grid today, and definitely one that's going to hopefully provide some really good racing. And obviously, traffic's going to be that managing thing here because this circuit, yeah, it's easy for cars to get past, but even for MP1s, it can be a bit of a struggle through the middle sector. So it'll be very interesting to see how we do here, especially coming towards the very hectic periods, or as I like to call them, the rush hour periods of the race, where you're probably lapping out 3, 4, 5, 6 cars in the space of a couple of corners. So obviously, once again, it is going to be myself on the main commentary, and alongside me as my ever-faithful cameraman and colleague commentator is Matheus Marçal.
Hello everyone, good evening.
Obviously, Matteo, we've broadcasted formulas and we've watched a lot of other racing between us. So
Oh yeah.
We've finally gotten to the series that we've been meaning to broadcast. We've been waiting to broadcast for the past few months. So it's great to obviously have you here and great to finally be able to get this show on the road.
Yeah, I was really excited to just broadcast this. This is my favorite kind of car. The GTs are just phenomenal, their sounds, their aerodynamics, everything on those cars. The LMP cars are just phenomenal. The engine sounds, the downforce, all the mechanical and downforce grip, those cars are just a piece of art, in my opinion. Especially the Oreca.
Yeah, and obviously myself being a Rebellion Racing fan, I sort of a bit more biased to Oreca than I am anything else.
Oh yeah, same.
But you know, the Oreca, one of the more prettier cars in my opinion. Obviously, just coming towards the end of practice, obviously about plenty of time left in practice. But I thought we'd get this broadcast underway a bit early, just so we can maybe talk about just a few things. Obviously, just get everything underway, just give you a bit of a taste of what these cars are like and just how entertaining they can be on the track, and just to let you have a look at just some of the skins, because obviously we don't mandate skins here. We do allow people to run the stock skins, the official DLC, but some people, you know, like to go that extra mile and have their own little skins. So those guys loading those skins, and just give you guys a bit of a time to have a look at those skins and just maybe give you a bit of background on just how everything works. And obviously a lot of people here, hopefully people watching this have had either some experience in sports car racing, but if not, well, we'll go through the fundamentals and maybe give you a bit of something to enjoy listening to, or a bit of classic history of World Endurance Championship and sports car racing in general. Obviously, this being the European variant, we don't think we only are planned to go around to one of the American circuits this year, so definitely plans for that. I'm just going to get the calendar up now, just to give you a bit of an idea what the calendar is going to be like this year. So obviously we're here, round 1, Spa Franchorchamps, Sunday, September the 2nd. Then on the 16th of September, we go to what is known as one of the most prestigious races on any of the motorsport calendar. It is the Le Mans. It is the Le Mans circuit. Obviously, only a 2-hour race. We're not doing a 24-hour race still. I don't think me and Matheus Marçal could commit to 24 hours yet. Without one of us falling asleep some way through. So,
yeah, probably dead at the end of the 24th hour.
Yeah, obviously great. Obviously just getting everything sorted out, and obviously we go to the Le Mans Circuit de la Sarthe on September 16th for a 2-hour race. So half an hour extra of one of the most beautiful circuits in my opinion as well. One of the more challenging circuits. Even though it doesn't feel like it, it is definitely one of the more challenging circuits because it can get very monotonous when you start driving it for long enough, and just trying to stay awake is one of those things that you have to do. Then we go across the English Channel to the Great Britain, which hopefully by that point hasn't had Brexit happen to it. But obviously we go to the Silverstone circuit for another 90-minute race. 30th. Then we wait and we go into the month of October, where we will then take a nice long flight over the Atlantic Ocean, and we then head off to Circuit of the Americas, Lone Star Le Mans. We head over there for another 90-minute endurance race on the 14th of October of this year. Then on the 28th of October we go all where we fly off to Bahrain. For another 90 minutes. It's going to be fast. It's going to be twisty. It's going to be fast. It's going to be flowing. It's going to be there indeed with 90 minutes of multi-class endurance racing. And then for the finale, we head to America to the Sebring International Circuit. Another 90-minute endurance race for the finale, and that is going to be using the official rFactor 2 the Sebring International Circuit. So obviously something of which we're definitely, because it's very much a massive improvement on what everyone has had to use for probably the past 5 years, which is the virtual Le Mans Sebring International Raceway, which by no means is horrible. It's actually really nice, but it's just nice to have that step up, I guess. Obviously, plenty of drivers here today for the Circuit de Spa Francorchamps round of the championship. We look in the LMP2 category, of which we're really sorry with the current way of the overlay work. Let's put something sorted so we can maybe have it where it's a bit more easy to differentiate between the two classes. But in LMP2, in the Orica categories, it's going to be cool. We have Alan Satola, Alex Freitas, Andrew Harper, Angelo Dos Santos, James Duba, John Van der Geest, Jose Casanovas, Joseph Wright, Marcos Jr., Maxime Borisov, Paul Lima, and Tony Talvite. Now, one of the names that obviously both myself and Matteo are going to recognise there or a couple of them are Angelo Dos Santos and John Van der Geest. Obviously, two people we have watched race very closely in very close quarters in Formula. How do you think they're going to do in LMP2s?
Oh yeah.
I think those interesting things. See how.
And we have.
So I was going to say, it's going to be.
Sorry.
This is going to go well, isn't it? Oh, the joys of commentators not knowing when the other's actually going to open their mouth is always an interesting one. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see how they do in what is definitely a faster and grippier car. So, obviously, how do you think they're going to fare up there, Matheus?
Of course, LMPs are just straight faster than GTEs, but in my opinion, I can see people trying to hold their positions when the LMP is behind, you know. And I think we've seen Angelo Dos Santos and John Van der Geest race before, and they are both racing on LMP2s now, so that should be, you know, quite interesting, because both of them, they raced really close to each other. They've lapped really close to, you know, each other's times, and yeah, I expect great battles between those two guys on LMP2 class.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously, as you say, with the Orica being as fast as it can be, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how it handles the traffic around the Belgian circuit, especially around some of the more tighter and less top speed able circuits. Obviously, with the way the tracks have been picked, it seems to be able to favour the Orica a bit more in terms of being able to get past the GTEs, because, as we all know, LMP2 and GTE speeds are pretty close, but with the fact that the Virtual Endurance Championship recently upped the LMP3 power, I think there's plenty of power left there. Obviously, we're going to now go down to who is driving in the GTE field, because there's definitely a lot of names I recognise in here. We've got Alexander Meshkov, Barrett Ericsson, Bartholomew Slobodian, Brett Metcalf, Brian Fairley, Carl Middleton, Cody Eby, Dennis Pimenov, Jerry Chen, John Melishar, Johnny Gutierrez, Carl Steege, Lance Link, Mark Hightree, Nigel Middleton, Nuno Rodriguez, Paul Ansky, Rob Milliken, Sean Devlin, Sergey Tishenko, Simon Marshall, and Tian Swart. They're all signed up, with two or three of those drivers being on the reserve list for this round. Whether or not they get to drive will be another thing that we will find out later on. But hopefully everyone else is going to turn up, and if not, we might see a couple of reserve drivers. But a lot of drivers on there that I definitely recognise in that GT field, so we definitely know it's going to be a very competitive GT field at the front of the field. Trying to check everything else. Obviously, as we said, we've got those 6 rounds, which isn't much, but it's definitely going to be something. It's definitely going to be a very tight and close series in which every race is going to matter. So definitely going to mean that people need to turn up to each race if they want to have a chance of winning the prestigious championship trophy we have here.
Oh yeah.
But obviously, as we're getting closer to qualification, obviously, the way we're doing qualifying here, most qualifying sessions in most series revolve of everyone going out on track at once. The light goes green and everyone will go out on circuit. Not in this series. We've got, obviously, with the 2 classes and the 2 different speeds, we don't want to cause people to have their laps ruined by either a faster and or slower class. So what we're doing, we've got 25 minutes of qualifying, 10-minute session for the LMP2s, and they go out first in the session, and then 5-minute pause just for everyone to recollect themselves, come back in the pits and sort themselves out. The GTs will then line up at the end of the pit lane, and the light will go green once again for another 10 minutes. And that will be until the end of the qualifying session, and then we'll have a simple 5-minute warm-up. Then we've got a race on our hands, so that is definitely going to be an interesting one indeed. Obviously, no escaping on track allowed in qualifying here at SRO, so all of the teams, all of the drivers have got to, once they finish their lap, have got to do an in-lap, and then they can escape once they're in the pit lane. Then they can go back out on circuit. That is the one thing that people have to be aware of, as to not end up making a slight little error there, which does happen. It has been done, and I've done it myself, and I've had drivers that have done it before. Obviously, a lot of things as well with the lapping as well. With LMP2s, they're going to want to get past as quick as possible, and with GTs, they're not going to want the LMP2s to get past, especially if they're fighting the GT behind them. So obviously, you're going to expect to see GTs really holding their line or defending, but as long as they're not blocking the LMP2 from going through, then it's all fine. And as long as the LMP2 is not making any really stupid dive bombs down the inside, I think we'll all be okay for today. Obviously, a lot of light flashing going to be happening, so nothing will don't expect them being angry. They are just simply telling the GT car in front of them that they are coming through and that they should be a bit more wary of their mirrors. So when you see light flashing going on, as long as their horns are going off, then I think we'll be okay. But I have seen horns being used. I've seen horns being used before, and I have definitely heard horns being used.
Oh my god.
Definitely takes me back, and a lot of my team will know when I'm talking about this, especially my VEC team this year, but it definitely reminds us of Instant Argos, where we've seen drivers beat their horn and then hear over TeamSpeak the race director go, "Can the driver using their horn please stop? You will receive a penalty if you do it again." But obviously, once again, my name is Alex Skinner, and alongside me is Matheus Marçal. We are here broadcasting. We are broadcasting here on behalf of SimRacingOnline. Make sure you get yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever you feel is going to keep you awake, because it's quite late in the evening over here in the United Kingdom. And, well, it's not very late over in Brazil where Matheus is, so he's not got that problem to worry about. But any of us Europeans, want to make sure you're settled down nice and comfortably for the night, what is going to be a very chilled out night shift race. There will be action, there will be racing, there will most likely be a couple of accidents, at least at Eau Rouge, but that's pretty expected considering everyone can know what not even the real drivers can manage to get through there without having at least one accident. But obviously that's something we've actually got to talk about, the big accidents we saw in the real life race a good few months ago now, actually, obviously after Le Mans. Fittipaldi having a horrific, I believe it's Fittipaldi actually, I have been out of the World Endurance loop for so long now because of everything going on, the fact that, in my personal opinion, the World Endurance Championship has gone slightly downhill because of the EOT and LMP1, but let's not talk about those sort of politics here. I think will be the best idea of the order tonight. We'll talk about them at Le Mans when we've got about half an hour extra, and maybe we'll even have someone else that knows a bit more about sports cars come and talk with us as well, Matt. But obviously, just practice and just keeping an eye on some of the drivers and just looking at how fast the LMP2s can go up Eau Rouge. And for some of them it might be flat, for some of them it might not. Same with the GTEs. I know when we were setting up our GTE for this circuit, we found that it pretty much could go flat. You could go flat up Eau Rouge if you got the line right. So the LMP2s most definitely should be getting there, should be getting up there flat if anything. But it's going to be interesting to see how the different cars handle. This is pretty much the first, from what I believe, the first broadcasted race with the Multiclass Pack. I'm not sure if race department have broadcast anything else. I know VLMS recently had their test race, but they had it at the Silverstone International Circuit, which is a bit more of, which is a bit easier for cars to get to. So it'll be interesting to see how the performance differs, especially around something like Spa with a lot more elevation and a lot more of the trickier corners compared to Silverstone, in my opinion. But just watching a lot of these guys coming up Eau Rouge, one of the most gorgeous corners, and it's not a case of taming Eau Rouge, it's a case of Eau Rouge allowing you to make it through and allowing you to tame it. So it's very much one of those corners, and obviously the WTF1 meme of that's Radiant actually, because, well, it's Eau Rouge rounding. If you want me to actually pronounce it with its full name, I can happily do that and I'll get it up. But it'll be a very interesting race indeed, with multiple people probably calling me out for the fact that I'm forgetting half the names. On that note, I'm actually getting my tracker that I have, so that I don't get the call and I'm completely wrong every single lap. Because that's the one thing I don't want to do, is get all the names wrong. Excuse me whilst I just get Spa Franchorchamps circuit up. Let's see, Matheus will take the time to go and look everything up. I'll just get my book out. There we go.
So, should we have a look on the car specs? I mean, we have, 4 different cars here, so why not?
Yeah, obviously, of course. Obviously, as we said, we are obviously running the official Studio 397 DLC, which you can get on Steam. About 13, about 14 pounds, 12 and 13 euro roughly. So definitely very cheap for the quality you're getting of the endurance pack. Really amazing. Obviously, you've got the Sebring pack that we'll be using later on, which is about 10 euro, which is cheaper than iRacing. So already you're getting 2 things, pretty much cheaper than 2 things on iRacing, but you're getting about 5 things that are cheaper on iRacing. So let's not also go into that politics. I should actually shut my mouth. But anyway. I'm definitely looking forward, but obviously, first off, we do look at the LMP2 category. We have the Oreca 07. Now, this car obviously made by Oreca themselves and obviously run by pretty much nearly all of the LMP2 teams in the World Endurance Championship, because it's the strongest car in the field, the most developed car actually, with multiple generations of the Oreca being around. Even though the Ligier was actually developed before this current Oreca, this Oreca took storm and everyone decided to jump ship to the 07, especially last year. But this year, a bit more of a spread, but definitely one of those cars. Very, very nice power to weight ratio of that car, and definitely a very nice engine note to it as well. It's one of the more chilled out LMP prototype cars with a bit more of a nice little thing. You can hear it as it's currently being shown on the broadcast with Joseph Wright at the wheel. So definitely one of the more glorious cars of the field, humble opinion anyway. But that's just me saying that because I am a Rebellion Racing fan. So obviously both of us are going to be both of us being Rebellion fans, we're going to probably be gushing over the Orica for the majority of this race. But I think there is the obviously before actually we go on to that, the one car we don't actually have present here is the Norma. We are not running the LMP3 class here. We're only running the LMP2 and GTE, so you won't get to see what is, in my opinion, the best LMP3 car, which is the Norma.
The Norma looks awesome.
I prefer the Norma. Yeah, the Norma looks absolutely gorgeous, and it is one of those cars that's a shame to not have running here, but I can understand it fully not being around here.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously, we then go down to the LMGTE field. Now, this I have a feeling is where me and Matheus Marçal may have some slight disagreements on which car we prefer. What do you prefer the most?
911 for sure, by a long shot. It sounds orgasmic. Boy, it does sound orgasmic.
Yeah, now, we differ because I very much am very much prefer the Corvette. Even though we're running the BMW, we're running the BMW and VC, I'm very much a fan of the Corvette. Mainly because of the fact it has always been one of those cars that I've enjoyed. It looks very aggressive. It looks very, it looks very stylish.
And it's been out there for a long time, since its release.
Decades.
Unlike GTE and GT3, even GT500, there's like a couple of Corvettes there. So
I didn't actually know there was a couple of Corvettes in GT500. That's actually something new I've learned today. But obviously, not long until the qualifying session comes to an end. Actually, 12 minutes left, and obviously plenty of people on their laps, as we can see. And obviously, very much people. Not all of them feeling too sure as it seems, but definitely currently a couple of cars doing some decent lap times. Obviously, Marcus Jr. pole by a tenth of a second of Paulo Lima as it currently was. I'm watching because I'm having a couple of issues with my rFactor for some reason. It's not allowing me on at the moment, but obviously Matheus can correct me on any times I'm getting wrong, as he's obviously, as you can tell, on the server. So obviously Matheus, I'm sorting myself out. Do you want to take everyone through the rest of qualifying?
Sure. I'm gonna do a rundown on the car specs for this one. We already said we have the BMW M8 GTE, or how Australian people call it, mate. So, and we have the Corvette, the Chevrolet Corvette C7R GTE. It's different from the GT3 and the GTE. They're like a little bit different. I will talk about that in a moment. We have the Orica 07, the successor from the 05, which is a gorgeous car as well. And we have the Porsche 911 OSR 2016. This car is officially the loudest car ever run in any endurance race ever. It's just the loudest car ever. This thing is thrilling. And on the Corvette, we have a 5.5 liter for the Americans out there, 336 cubic inch, 90-degree V8 NA. Naturally aspirated, front engine longitudinally mounted, V8, yeah, making 491 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, and it has a X-Track 6-speed semi-automatic gearbox. It is actually a paddle-shifted sequential, which shifts really fast. The car has 2,447 pounds, 1,110 kilo without the driver or fuel, and it runs VP racing fuel. So for the BMW, we have which is the BMW M8 GTE, the successor from the BMW M6 GT LM. It is a the engine on this car is a race pack P63-1, which is a 3.9 liter V8 90 degrees. For the Americans out there, 242 cubic inches. Twin power, twin turbo technology, which is a new hot side mounted, exactly like the Mercedes engine. It is a hot side V8. The turbos stick on the upper part of the engine, and it is a front engine, longitudinally mounted, and the gearbox is a Ricardo 6-speed sequential semi-automatic paddle shifter. For power, it has 500 horsepower depending on the boost setting that you choose at 7,000 RPM, and it weighs 1,250 kilo with with all the fluids and the driver. That translates to 2,756 pounds. Runs VC racing fuel as well, just like the Corvette. And the last GTE car on our server is the Porsche 911 RSR 2016. It got recently it got a new exhaust system by Porsche, which gives, I think, 2 wheel horsepower, but it sounds amazingly better, like day and night difference from the old exhaust. It is a 4-liter straight, not a straight, sorry, a 4-liter 6-cylinder boxer engine, water cooled, and it has 510 horsepower, depending on the restriction. As I said, the GT and GT3 cars are a little bit different. The GT3 cars has a little bit more power and less weight, and the GTE cars has, you know, it weighs less, but it has less power as well. So yeah, it is a 6-speed constant mesh gearbox, which is a straight cut, just really fast shifting gearbox, and it runs VP racing fuel as well. As I say this, we have the first people doing the fast lap on the GTE class.
That's good. Obviously, sorry, I was sorting myself out, just making sure everything was working. It should hopefully be back soon. But just listening to what you were saying about the cars, you know, just saying about the specs and everything, it's surprising, you know, how similar the technology is between all the 3 of the GTEs, but how different, you know, it can be made to actually, you know, come out and sound. And as you said, with the Porsche exhaust debuted in the 2017 the 24 du Mans, which actually, when my friend who was actually at the event live, he said the Porsche's got a new exhaust, and I said, well, what's that really done to it? How do you know that? What's it done to it? And he sent me a video of it, and let's put it this way, I think at that exact moment I went, yeah, I think we found the new best sounding car at Le Mans.
Oh yeah.
I'm coming from a Corvette fan in GT. it's a bit of a statement to make when your own car has lost its own record of sounding the best. But definitely one of the more enjoyable cars in the field to listen to alongside the Corvette. BMW does sound gorgeous, but I don't seem to like it sound as much. That's just due to how the exhaust is and how the engine comes across. But what surprised me is the fact that Porsche's using the Boxster engine instead of the flat six that they pretty much pushed forward, especially with the flat six being actually a bit more consistent, a bit more effective, especially in the racing models. Obviously, only Porsche can tell us about that.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, hopefully you all have decided to come and tune in to the G.E.A.R Sports Car Series, even though there is currently the IndyCar Series at Portland, which I have no idea what the results actually are or what's going on at the moment. All I know is there's been an accident already and we're not even that far in. So, you know, pretty much typical IndyCar stuff. A lot going on and a lot to keep an eye on everywhere around the circuit, and obviously even here there's a lot to keep on going about. But obviously, as we said, the first of the GTEs coming in, setting all their laps. Obviously, pole really doesn't matter here. This, like, as much as in Formula 3 we get really excited about, you know, drivers getting pole. In endurance racing, even, you know, an hour and a half of sports car racing, pole really doesn't mean anything. Because the second you hit traffic, you'll find very, very much that it's a lot easier to lose that time than you think. And people will tell you, you know, people will try and defend their erratic lapping by saying, oh, I need to keep the time up. What people don't realise is that time that 3 seconds you may lose behind, you know, say GT car and going through Pour, someone else will lose that time later on. You know, the guy you're fighting will probably lose that time, or maybe even more later on in the race. You know, it's all swings and roundabouts in endurance racing, and just watching all of the GTs on their laps is just gorgeous thing. But it also shows how different the lines they have to take can be, and how a lot more squirrely the GTs can get coming out of corners. Obviously, all of the GTs do have traction control, and so do the prototype. So does the prototype. They all have their separate levels of traction control, and they are all limited in their variations. Now, I know the GT, I think the BMW has about 11 settings of traction control, so plenty of settings to toy with. Whilst the LMP2 I think has like 8 settings. I hope one of my team members is watching and could actually correct me, because they're the ones setting up the thing for Silverstone in a week's time. But obviously, obviously all of these cars, just seeing how the GTEs handled Longchamp, which is, you know, one of the more tricky circuits. It's not difficult in the essence of it's the difficult corner. It's more difficult in the essence of the car will either be set up for that corner and be useless everywhere else, or be set up for everywhere else and be useless at that corner. There's never really a middle ground. And I found that out to my detriment in the Spa 24. So a lot of things that will affect people this race. I'm not sure about the weather. I'm not sure if I can't remember if we're running a live weather plugin or not. I haven't actually. That's the one thing I should have actually checked, but I doubt we are. I haven't seen any wet races yet in SimRacingOnline. So it's definitely going to be one of those intriguing races. So some will see all watching the broadcast whilst I wait for everything to fix itself. Just see what the Porsche getting very slightly through the second part of Lake Conf. Just absolutely glorious, and I hope you're enjoying the engine sounds as much as I am, because oh boy, they're gorgeous. But it's nice to see some people getting creative with their liveries, seeing some Golf Porsches, seeing, you know, seeing the Golf Porsche actually needs to have Sean Devlin running the Golf Porsche. Very much a car that I enjoy looking at. Is any a Golf livery on any car really. Very much does look good. One of those liveries that seems to work with anything. And then looking at Paul Anstey and his Corvette, with that very simplistic livery, but still looks very nice. At least we'll be able to tell who's driving. At least we'll be able to tell where he is. The plain white livery will just gleam in the sunlight. Indeed, so it'll be very much something that we can look forward to looking at throughout this race, and just absolutely everyone, and all these amazing creative skins, you know, Lance Link, Cody Eby, Paul Ernst, Mark Hightree, Barrett Erickson, Angel Dos Santos and Joseph Wright, some of the other guys running their own custom liveries this round, which is great to see people, you know, running their own liveries in, you know, sort of races like this. It shows that people want to get involved and want to have their own liveries run.
And Barrett Erickson that raced on the F3 race and F3 championship, still racing on the F3 championship. That hasn't, you know, ended yet.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people here race in multiple series at once, and definitely do a lot around the SRO community, and it's always great to see that. So I'm still having problems connecting to the server, and there's not much time left we're actually coming very much towards the end of the qualifying session has ended, so 5-minute warm-up. Hopefully I can get in time. I really, the one small problem I have with the server being, well, not with the server, sorry, with rFactor 2 being very weird with the connection settings and everything else, so just trying to make sure that all works. All the settings I had previously don't seem to be working tonight, so indeed to see that happen and to have it happen so close to a race. But obviously, a great job. As much as it won't mean too much, especially in the endurance race, it's great to see Marcos Jr. Take the pole in LMP2, with GTE being headed by, I actually need Matteo to tell me who it's being headed by because I can't tell.
So, on LMP2 we have Marcos Jr. with 1 minute 59 seconds and 7.7 seconds. 159.7, the pole position on LMP1, followed by Paulo Lima, both Brazilian drivers, friend of mine. He got a lap of, let me make sure here, he got a lap of 159.8, and followed by James Zuba, with a lap of 2 minutes 00.2 on the third place. Followed by the GTE guys, we have Lance Link with a, let me have a look, Lance Link with a 2 minutes 14 seconds.1 on the first place on GTE, followed by John Meleka. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. He had a time of, let me have a look. Lance had a time of 2 minutes 14 second.5, and right after that on third place on GT class we have Cody Abbey with 2 minutes 15 seconds.3. Really fast laps though. A 2:14 is a really fast lap. Instead we have 3 DNFs here: Carl, Simon and Tian.
Yeah, definitely a really fast lap. I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong button, which doesn't help. But obviously, you know, 5-minute warm-up session now, and some really quick laps here. Obviously, not everyone is as experienced as some of the guys you'll see in other series, so you can't expect everyone to be setting some blistering lap times like you can see, you know, in other series. But these laps are really quick indeed. And definitely, you can just see from the qualifying that on raw pace alone, these guys are very close. So it'll be very interesting to see what the race pace is like coming toward green flag. Obviously, rolling start here at the Circuit of Spa Franchorchamps, and it will definitely be interesting to see who will get the jump when the lights go green. Single file rolling start, so one by one they will come across. It'll be very interesting to see if anyone can actually get a jump on the guys in front of them. So will definitely be interesting as well to see. So Matt, who do you think is going to win in both classes?
Could be anyone, really. Could be Tian Swart that didn't even qualify, and could be Marco Jr. in LMP2. I mean, this track has a lot of tricks, and if you respect the track and be cool with the with all like all the corners, don't clip all the curbs too aggressive, you can lap really quick on this track and gain positions like that really fast. And it could be anyone, could be Tian, could be Simon, could be Carl, could be Marcos or Paulo. I mean, yeah, my bet's on Paulo Lima because he's a personal friend of mine. So what about yours?
Well, I'm going to use the voice of logic for this race, and I'm probably going to go with it. As long as he can keep his nose clean and can keep that pace up, I'm definitely going to go with the pole sitter in LMP2, mainly because of the fact that I do have that really good feeling nose clean. He's going to really find it easy to make it work and to make it come across really really well, and just make that car work the way he wants it to work. So it'll definitely be very interesting to see what he can do. especially as they come through the towards the middle part of the race. And in GTE, I don't know. I've been looking at the practice times. I've been looking at how much people have been practicing. I'm definitely going to go with I'd like the Middleton. By one of the Middletons, actually, Carl or Nigel. They're both putting a lot of practice in, and obviously, I can't for every single day for every God-given hour, but I can definitely say that I have actually paid attention to the times a bit and kept an eye on everything, and everything has been very much practiced and set up, worked on, and hopefully everything will work well. But it'll be interesting to see, obviously, as we say, coming into the end of the race, everything gets a bit less controlled and a bit more hectic with drivers trying to make up places right at the very end. But yeah, I'm going to say in LMP2 it's going to be the Pulsar, and in LMP3 and LMGTE it is going to be one of the Middletons.
But yeah, they're both two really experienced drivers. They're two really fast drivers. I've seen them race and practice here on this server, and they are surely up to pace with everyone else.
So what we're going to do now in this warm-up session is take a small little break. Just let everyone get themselves, get yourself a cuppa, have a quick loo break before we settle down for an hour and a half's worth of very tightly packed multi-class sprint racing. And it also means that myself and Matheus Marçal can have a drink and sort ourselves out before we bring to you live an hour and 45 minutes of absolutely amazing racing here from the circuit of Spa Franchorchamps in the G.E.A.R Multiclass Endurance Pack series.
As we say this, there's 50 seconds left for the warm-up, and we go on a fast lap with Carl Middleton, which is one of my favorite drivers from SRO, with his gorgeously sounding 911. Oops, he's back to pits.
He's probably gone back to the pits knowing that he's on camera and he doesn't want to be on camera yet. But definitely not a lot left of the warm-up session, coming towards the end of it now, so we're going to be starting to grid up. Everyone's got to remember to fill the tanks up and make sure that the car is capable of getting to the end. Obviously, LMP2 usually you can do around 40 to 45 minutes on a tank, so you're definitely be able to do half of this race quite cleanly. GTs, they can do about an hour on the tank, so it'll be a very interesting strategy in GT. Do they go longer in the first stint, or do they go shorter in the first stint? Or does everyone run the same? It's going to be very interesting to see when the GTs come in, if they do exactly half the race, if they only do half an hour on the first stint and an hour on the second stint, or whatever they decide to do. It'll be very interesting to see what sort of fuel strategies we have coming into this race. Obviously, tyres won't last the whole race, most definitely. They'll probably be, in LMP2 they should be able to double stint them. In GTE they most likely won't, but obviously I've been proven wrong multiple times by my own drivers, so I'm probably going to be proven wrong here again.
So we begin our pace lap. We are getting a rolling start for this one. LMP2's in the front, GT's in the back as usual. And we have up front in the first place Marcos Jr. and his teammate at second place Paulo Lima. And we have In third place we have James D'Zuba, sorry, and in fourth place we have Angelo Dos Santos, and fifth place John Van der Geest, the ever old man, our friend that we pick every once in a while, and he loves it. And at sixth place we have Tony Talvitier, yeah. Seventh place Alex Freitas. Eighth place we have Joseph Wright, and followed by Maximum Borisov for the LMP2 class. Gonna get a rundown on the GT class, Alex?
Yeah, if everyone to run down the full grid, let's make sure we can get everyone in before we get to the end of the formation lap. It's coming down the GT grid now, and just making sure I get everything correct in my pronunciation. Just keep making sure I read through the final little bits, because I have been known to make a couple of mistakes with drive pronunciations. I really don't want to do that today, especially with how well things have been going. But Matteo, if you could actually go down the GT grid as well, as I'm having a couple more problems.
Okay, so we have for first place in his MA GTE with a really fast 1 minute and 14 seconds lap, Lance Link, followed by John Melika, and in third place Cody Abbey. So followed by him we have in fourth place Bartholomew, and then Paul Ansley, we have Nigel, we have Mark Hightree, Brett Metcalf, Carl Middleton, and followed by Carl we have Dennis, and then Rod Milliken, we have Jerry Chen, we have then Ryan Filey with his gorgeously looking 911 with the new exhaust. It sounds really good, isn't it, Alex?
Shush, I'm a Corvette fan, I'm not going to comment.
Followed by Brian we have Johnny Gutierrez with his Corvette, and we have Barrett Erickson, which raced on the F3 challenge that we broadcasted here before. We have then, followed by Barrett, we have Carl Steeg, then Tian Swart that didn't qualify. Followed by Tian we have Simon that didn't qualify either, and followed by him we have the Golf Porsche Sean Devlin on last place that didn't qualify it as well. And race started for LMP1. We have both Marcos and Paulo on the first place, going up the Air Rouge now. Flat out through the Air Rouge, that's beautiful, man.
Absolutely beautiful seeing those guys side by side up, not side by side, sorry, full throttle up Eau Rouge. Something that definitely you're going to be seeing the top guys in LMP1, LMP2 manage to do. I'm so used to commentating on LMP1 and LMP2, instead I'm getting used to it being LMP2 only now.
Paulo Lima got the inside on the chicane on the middle sector of the race and got first place on his teammate.
Absolutely phenomenal driving, getting through on the inside as coming up to the chicane. Like on one of the more tricky corners if you get the braking zone wrong, especially with it being so bumpy coming into it. It's more one of those corners where everything sort of goes a bit wrong, and obviously with the first lap being as hectic as this, it's going to definitely be something that we've got to keep an eye on. But obviously it's just keeping an eye on it now. Definitely with all the GTs obviously making their way into the Lake Com chicane as well, obviously making their way out of it now, and everyone's sort of staying line of stern, no one really taking any hesitations or making any broad moves.
As we say this, James D'Zuba just battling second place with Marcos Jr. They ran like too wide on most of the middle sector there. Oh my god, this is thrilling already.
Too wide through Pouon and Fagnet, and then nearly too wide through Stavilo, but not going to make it work. Obviously, side by side doesn't. I think he did take. Yeah, it doesn't take the position off him, but was very, very close to indeed. It's just if you get stuck on the outside of Stavilo, you're not going to be able to make that move work. So you're better off trying to make a move on the inside of the final corner, which he tried to actually do. Obviously, I'm slightly behind at the moment, but I'm trying to get myself through, make it work. But definitely some exciting racing right in the first couple of minutes here. with everyone just trying to make moves everywhere. As I try anything at all, mainly because of the fact that it is such a long race. You don't want to make any stupid moves or anything that's really going to compromise your race this early on. So it's just a case of making sure it works, making sure nothing goes wrong towards the end. Because if you don't get to, as the old saying goes, to finish first you have to finish.
Oh, we have a crash. We have a crash. I think it...
Oh.
Who was it? Let me have a look.
Trying to find who the hell it was because we're both very much struggling to keep up with the accidents. As you see, GTs go side by side trying to see who had the accident.
Oh, it was Lance. The pole. The first place. No.
Oh dearie me.
He crashed it going into the first hairpin there.
That's unusual. Very unusual crashing into La Source. The only real way you could have done that, you've had contact with another car, or if you've really mucked up the brake and the car snapped from underneath you. So now we can get a replay or something of that, because it's very, very unusual for a car to go off there, at least. And obviously, the first retirement from this race. Such a shame to see that happen already. Once again, really sorry we don't have currently the capability of being able to show you the difference in the classes on the plug-in, or the TV overlay plug-in. I will get my words right eventually. We're still going there, but we will try and get that as we can for the next race coming up. As already, as we saw just on the broadcast, 6th place came into the pit lane very early, lap 3, end of lap 3 coming in. So definitely something interesting maybe going on with the strategy unless they've got damage. Just keep an eye on the sector. Another car comes in as well. It is Maxime Bozanov is in the pit lane as well, in one of the other Orencas, owned with multiple other cars coming into the pit lane as well. It is interesting to see these guys pitting in so early. But just looking at the front of the field, Paolo Lima has just gone. He's pushing like that.
I'll just say this, Mark Heitry just closing the gap between Nigel. He has a look on the inside, did not complete the move. Let's see if
just
big slide there from Brett.
Yeah, just to prove a point, the current last place of the main pack of LMP2 cars is only just coming into Les Combes at the moment, whilst the that is coming down Kemmel Straight is only just come over Ranios. So that is the difference in pace between the two cars, just to prove a point on that, with the leaders very, very close indeed in both of the classes. 2 seconds separates the LMP2 lead this early on, as the LMP2 leaders come through into the final game into what is actually called the bus stop, but it actually was known as La Chicane. Not really much of a bus stop anymore, which is a shame, but obviously coming into La Source, one of the more important one of the very much crucial corners, because you don't get a run out of here, you're going to be pretty much sitting duck as you come up the Eau Rouge radial down the Kemmel Straight. But I think this is going to be one of them already. Very much. Half a second separates the leaders.
Oh, they make a mistake.
Down the Kemmel Straight. All mistake, and that's going to mean, I believe it's going to mean he's going to make the move stick. Yeah, he's going to make the move stick. It's a great job by Paolo Lima to keep that place. Obviously, definitely very, very tricky conditions indeed. Obviously, well, not tricky conditions, more tricky conditions inside the cockpit, trying to keep an eye on where the hell everyone is. coming through Pouon. Another one of the crucial corners. If you get this wrong, you're going to have very slow speed coming towards Fagnay. And then coming into Stavelo, John Van der Geest currently third. He wasn't looking too confident coming into this race, so definitely going to be happy with coming down towards Blanchimont. Fastest one of the circuit. Still debating whether I see people will say that this is easily the fastest place on the circuit. I still sort of debating that between that and Eau Rouge, the time you have to speed up through to get to that corner. But coming through the final chicane again, they're about to hit the back of the GT traffic. Now the GTs aren't that bad, aren't that spread out. The leader of GT is just coming out of Les Combes. Oh, sorry, sorry, not Les Combes, coming out. I'm going to Les Castellane, but no, coming out of Les Combes. Whilst the now coming through Rivage, whilst the final car is only halfway down the hill straight, so definitely not a big gap at all between the GT field. Whilst the LMP2 guys, a bit of a slower pace, more these guys. But as I said, it's more of a case of keeping your nose clean and getting to the end. The GTEs have pretty much just got to do the same and hold their line, and the LMP2s will make their way through. And as we say that, it's definitely now about to happen, because the LMP2s can pretty much see the GTs in front of them, see the massive pack of GTs in front, and go, oh dearie me, this might not end well. Currently, the fastest person in LMP. As I say that, sorry, Marcos Jr.'s drop pace. So I don't know if you've noticed what happened there, Matheus.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Let me have a look. Oh, he ran off track. Yep, he probably made a mistake, ran off track, lost one position to John Van der Geest, which is now overtaking the Abak-Maka.
Oh, so indeed, that's now opened up the lead gap to 4.7 seconds.
Oh, as we say this, Marcos Jr. is just closing in because of the traffic. And is he gonna make a move? Oh yeah, he completed the move, took second place now. Yeah,
it's one of the things, it's very much a case of if you can get the advantage in traffic, that's where you're going to gain a lot of the time. And obviously, keep your nose clean, don't. Of course, you'll be absolutely fine indeed. And obviously, this is just allowing, I was about to say it's just allowing Paulo Lima to completely gap absolutely everyone. And what, he's 4.9 ahead now. The traffic currently playing in his favour, as he's the current leader and he doesn't have to take too many risks. Whereas the guys currently fighting for second, Marcos Jr. and John Van der Geest, really having to push. And Alex Freitas isn't too far off the podium either. He is 2.7 of the guys in front of him. So maybe he could be a challenger for the podium spot at the moment. But just having a look, John Melechar and Paul Anstey, the gap between those two is only 3.6. The gap between Wright and Melechar is 0.4. So the fight in the front, from the towards the front of the GT field is definitely going on at the moment. Those guys coming through Stavelo now on their way down to the run to Blanchimont. Very, very close indeed. Through Blanchimont, very, very fast left-hander. So, looking my position, all my timing is saying multiple different things at the moment. So it's LMP2, Marcos Jr. only 9/10 ahead.
Oh, had an accident. Marcos Jr. just crashed. Oh my god, because of traffic. And the C7R was upside down. Oh my god, that was brutal.
I can probably hazard a guess as to what happened there with the Corvette ending up being rear left and being sent into about 3 miles off the circuit upside down on its roof. Just looking, oh yeah, there's another spinner as well. See, just before that was Brett Metcalf, so there's just having a look, just actually having a look now to what happened with Marcos Jr. and the Corvette.
Oh, and we have another incident. We have Alex Freitas and Marcos Jr. having an accident, an incident on the Camel Straight.
It's a fight for third. That was the fight for third place. Oh, sorry, the fight for third place, I believe.
And Alex Freitas.
Oh my God! Yeah, I've seen that.
Alex
So
Freitas
what
is
happened
DNF'd. Probably
Yeah.
he had a look on the outside or the inside, and they just collided. Had a confusion there. I don't know.
Oh, what I just seen on the broadcast, looking there was absolutely indeed to see an LMP2 got a helicoptering along the Camel Straight, right into your path. Amazing job at Marcus Jr. to get killed in that situation. Very well done indeed. Obviously, see those two guys now fighting each other. It's looking for Lance, who's just had RF2 freeze on here. And Lance Link is out of the race with his game having a freeze, and so that'll be why he went off at the Source hairpin. So I take that back. It wasn't bad driving on his part. It was a case of just RF2 being RF2. So a very bad shame, and hopefully no other people have that problem, because this is one of the more equipment-heavy circuits, like Le Mans and especially Suzuka, which is one of the bigger game, definitely. But definitely a shame. Obviously, you've got to remember that you can still come back and maybe even get a really good points haul if you just stay out because there's so much going on. Even if it means you crawl back on the pit limiter, you're still doing better than the guys that hit escape. Obviously, respect to the guys escaping when they are spinning across the track at about 100 miles an hour. And just keeping an eye on the guys lapping the traffic. Very difficult here indeed.
And we get James Tuber just overtaking John Van der Geest on the middle sector.
John Van der Geest, easy pass down the inside at the Lake-Com chicane. Very much an easy pass there. John Van der Geest not really fighting too much, but definitely.
And Marcos Jr. still wants that third place. He's pushing really hard on his car, even after the crash there with the Corvette.
Yeah, he's really trying to get past his GTs as quick as possible, making sure that he doesn't have any more accidents, because that's really what you don't want to happen, is have any more accidents than you really need.
Oh, as we say this, Marcos Jr. just ran off track. I think he clipped the inside grass and just spun.
So Marcos Jr. making more mistakes than we expected. As he rejoins the track right in front of the BMW, I probably would have personally waited for the BMW and that not to go through. But that was to save the time. The BMW hit the brakes and let him through. He's now going to lap the Corvette. He lapped about 30 seconds ago before having the spin, so goes very wide. Nearly another mistake. Just watching that as he went try to get past, making some stupid mistakes. He needs to calm down, just get himself back under control and not have too many accidents like that, because that's what's costing him time. As see, just watching on the broadcast, two GTs trying to go side by side, going towards the Source, nearly pushed on the grass. As the Porsche went to the inside, was phenomenal. Some amazing racing going on in the GT field with the LMP2 trying to scythe their way through it, not cause any problems. And obviously, the one livery that I do happen to recognise quite often is the what I was going to say was the Texas Squadron car, but it's actually the Dragon Speed livery. And just looking, and also I have also just only now just realised that Simon Marshall's in this race, the Rookie Monsters driver in his Rookie Monsters Porsche, with let's restore it as quickly as possible. Of course, just so great to see Simon racing tonight. He signed up, said, "Oh, I'm actually really interested. I want to do this." So I got him involved. It's amazing to see what these guys can do. And Simon isn't a slow man in his own right, so he's definitely, a lot of these guys are definitely proving the pace they've got. So, as we said, come and give this a go. Just get the rFactor, get the DLC, get on the server, get some practice done. You may be able to, you might even find that you're able to come and, beat some of the really quick guys here.
Come have fun with us.
Yeah, come and have fun, get yourself on telly and have your claim to fame of hopefully not being the one that's spinning across the track on the Kemmel Straight at 300 kilometres an hour. Definitely some great racing going on indeed in the GTE field. LMP2 sort of settling itself down a bit now because of all of the accidents going on and all the traffic. So that'll sort of calm itself down for a while. Everyone will set themselves out and they've just set themselves out just to push up a bit further. With Paulo Lima currently leading this race, just proving that he is definitely the man to beat at the moment in the Spa. I think I'm just going to shut up and not assume what people are going to be doing now because I'm going to be wrong every 30 seconds. But yeah, up to the back of him. Amazing job by John Vandergeest. He's trading lap times, pretty consistently. So great to see that. But it does seem that James does have John at the moment. But it's so nice to see such a big field here, especially with the class split. We had a full grid plus reserves signed up for this race. Everyone has pretty much managed to get us a full grid here, so really great to have everyone coming and joining us here for the 90-minute race at Spa. Just watching on the broadcast still. I've been commentating this race from the timing. Sorry, I was just watching on the broadcast that you were showing. There, Matheus, Simon Marçal, and Danny and sort of there, but making it work. It's very scary seeing them do it, but they know that they've got this calculated, so it's something that you very much have to remember. That I've been commentating. You probably wouldn't be surprised if I'm commentating this from the timing because I've been having problems with my game still. Because rFactor 2 does
a big error from Simon. He just gave a little bit too much throttle on Mohamed. He had just almost spun his car there.
Very well. See, as you said that, I was watching it, and very, very close indeed. Those two guys really pushing like as quick as they can, to try and catch and see those guys a bit further down the field, but Simon really pushing the gorgeous Rookie Monsters liveried Porsche 991 GT8. One of the cars that I really adore, the Rookie Monsters livery. Always looks great. G.E.A.R does amazing jobs on his skins, and always has done. Which is great to see how much racing there is going on in the GT field at the moment. More cars closing up. All the GTs really liking the track, liking to use a bit more of the track limits than others, but as expected, GTs do run a bit wider. Carl Middleton really trying to get past the guys in front of him.
He lost a position to Dennis. Ooh, a Corvette just spun. Corvette spun. That's Mike High Tree. He spun on the outside, on the corner exit of bus stop.
Now that's a very old place to spin it there, because it's not like you're getting on the power that early anyway. So whether he lit the rears up a bit earlier or he just made a slight error of judgment is another question. Simon Marçal really trying to get past. Brett Metcalf. Obviously, Brett Metcalf, one of the more experienced RF2 racers, and so is Simon. Obviously, Simon owning the Rookie Monsters team. I think he's the only one of the Rookie Monsters team here today. It's great to have those guys representing. Obviously, there's a big little bit of a friendly rivalry between myself and their team, so always a bit of fun to be had when talking about their team. So come on, Simon, pick your pace up. You're not going quick enough. he'll watch this back and go, he'll watch this back, tag me in the Discord, and then moan at me for that 3 years whilst Robert Strike and then has a bit of a laugh. But it's great to see, so many guys of all pace levels coming out here and having a bit of fun. But only 12 laps done. Phenomenal, how fast this race is going already. Just keeping an eye on everything that's going on so far. It's like you need about 30 million eyes in every single corner. There's just so much going, so many cars everywhere. But just loving the sounds of these cars. It's gorgeous. Yeah, the Porsche mix with the BMW does sound phenomenal, and the Corvette just adds that to the mix, and you've got yourself some really gorgeous cars. It'll be really interesting to see what the Ferrari would have sounded like if they managed to get the license for that here.
Oh yeah.
Obviously no Ferrari 488 GTE car and no Aston Martin Vantage, although I don't really think anyone would drive the Aston, how slow and heavy that thing has been. Yeah, having spoken to a couple of the drivers at, ironically at GT3 race, they were, they said it's, the start of a new project, they've got plenty of time left, but they really just want to, get that car as quick as it can be, and it's just showing that the first year of the development is going about as well as the first year of the BMW. Really, it's not going that well at all. But obviously, a lot of things can happen, and just watching as you are watching on board, Carl Middleton chasing those guys down. It's amazing when you look on the inside of the GTE Porsche and you realise that that wheel is pretty much from the LMP1 car from when that was around.
It's almost the same wheel as the 919.
Yeah, the 919 LMP1 car. That's a gorgeous car.
Carl Middleton on the outside from Dennis. He got the move and ran off track. Had a little bit too late of a braking zone there, but got the position. Well done.
So much overspeed. Well, both of them actually ran off the track, so both of them pretty much gained the same amount of advantage they would have done, but so much overspeed on Middleton's Porsche there, over the BMW. It was absolutely phenomenal. How much top speed that car has got over everyone else, or over the BMW. Now means that he comes under pressure from Chen's Porsche, so multiple Porsche. Obviously, this series we imposed a car limit, so we didn't have a grid of 18 Porsches, 18 GTE, 18 same GTE, because that feeling that would happen. So there was I think there was a car limit. I think about 6 or 7, or 5 or 6 or 7. One of the three numbers. These guys all really picking their cars wisely. I'm still falling in love with the engine sound of all of these cars, especially the Corvette. Absolutely glorious piece of engineering. But Paulo Lima still leading in LMP2 by 15.1 seconds. Absolutely phenomenal driving. Just gapping Van der Geest and Marcos Jr. by ages.
Really, really fast driver.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I think he's going to be the pace setter for, well, at least this race, maybe even for the whole season if he keeps this up.
Dennis wants that position back. He's right on Carl Middleton Porsche.
And that's the thing though, if he's right on the back of Carl Middleton, he's going to be right on the back of Carl Middleton. Whether he makes it work or not is another question. Maybe
he got the slipstream.
Yeah, but then remember Carl's Porsche was really quick in a straight line and really slippery in a straight line, so very interested to see if he can make it work.
Couldn't. Not enough speed to do the Camel straight.
Yeah, that's just Carl. That's just the top speed that Carl's got on that Porsche. He knows that he can make the car work on the straight line, and it'll, really balance it through the corners. Definitely very close there. The pace seeming to be there for these guys. Obviously still not seeing any cars coming for them out there. What is going to have to be their stop. So you remember LMP2's doing about half the race on a tank, and then the GTEs can do about an hour. So GTEs is where the main fuel strategy is going to play in. LMP2s are going to have to run pretty much halfway through on a full tank and then come in, but GTEs can really play a really good strategy. Dennis really trying to push up to the back of Carl, who is actually goes a bit, no, not, I was going to say it goes a bit wider through Savilo, but the rear end came out on Dennis's car, so not really too big of a loss. Coming on the run towards Franchorchamps. On the run down through Franchorchamps. Very close indeed. Now LMP2 behind them. He's 6 in the LMP2. He goes very wide actually on the exit of Franchorchamps, letting the LMP2 through.
Then he's got the inside on the outside, sorry, on the bus stop and got the position from Carl Middleton. And Jerry Chen is just closing in and just has a look on the outside and could not complete the move. Just sticking back for now. Just waiting for an error, just waiting for traffic to just get a couple of seconds off and get the position from Carl. I know Jerry wants this position because I've seen he's having a look on the inside from Carl Middleton before, and yeah. Oh, as we say, this car just spun on the Air Rouge. Exiting the Air Rouge.
Oh no, he spun at the top of Radio actually. Bounces a bit too on the inside of Radio. Thankfully doesn't get hit by the LMP2 coming through. Rolls back onto track. That is very dangerous indeed. Right in front of a GT Corvette. Gets that car back in the right direction. Holds it right so the other GTs can go through. That was very close indeed for Carl Middleton. Very nearly actually causing another accident there as he spun round. Just checks the damage on the car, does a quick little weave just to check if there's any suspension damage, nothing at all, so he can keep going. Well, that was very dangerous indeed, Carl. And Simon Marshall into the pit lane. And Josh Petty correct, Radio claims a victim, it does indeed. It's a very big victim at that. The guy
look at Marcos Jr. on John Van der Gees, he just closed the gap really fast because of the traffic.
Yeah, and as we say, traffic giveth and traffic taketh away. It's very close indeed. Nose to tail behind the Corvette as they come towards Pool, as they came towards Pool. Very close indeed. Some amazing racing going on so far. These guys really pushing as hard as they can. Obviously, John Van der Gees seems to have the edge at the moment. So, as much as Marcus Jr. is really, I think John is just being extra safe in traffic, whereas Marcus is pushing a bit more, which is perfectly fine. He's just taking a few more risks, and it seems to be working.
Okay, Marcus Jr. just spun, going into the bus stop. I think he braked a little bit too much, locked up the wheels, and just spun there. Didn't quite catch the moment there.
Yeah, you say that as we saw Paul. I think it was Paul Anstey go over the top to have the exact replica of the accident that Carl Middleton had, except he went straight on into the barrier at the nearly where Kevin Magnussen went off in the 2016 Grand Prix. Very much another accident. One that you couldn't do much about. I think it would have been more of a case of, oh dear, I'm having an accident, not oh dear, can I avoid this? But Marcos Jr. making so many. That's the one thing you can't afford to do. Although the only thing that's fitting about it is he's driving the JDC car, which is the car that doesn't really have much luck in endurance racing, so that makes a few more uncharacteristic mistakes. So maybe a skin change at the next round would be in order to fix that. But definitely really pushing a bit too hard through traffic, and he nearly lost it coming out of Lake Com as well. Very close.
Oh, Bartholomew just having problems right now. I think he has damage on his car.
yeah. Very.
Oh yeah, he has a
that's-
lot of damage on the suspension. Look at how crooked the wheel look, steering wheel. Oh yeah,
And he's keeping it off.
he must
Credit
really
to
hit something really hard
Okay, no,
there.
that is safe driving there to keep it off the circuit. Well done, Bartholomew, keeping it off the circuit. Much respect, man. He's keeping it off the circuit where he can to get that back to the pits. This is what you can. This is all you need to do. Is keep racing line, get it back to the pits, and you know no one will really moan at you. Although a couple of other GTs might have a bit of a where are you going? Are you actually going? If you if you have a bit of a slide with the crabbing. It's a shame, so many victims early on. Lap 18 for the leading LMP2 cars, and that is very, very crooked indeed. There, it's almost like it is trying. It's almost like it's telling him, "I want to go into the barrier. I want to go into the barrier." I think that so he's going to hopefully keep it. Yeah, keeps it on the runoff. Keeping it on the runoff by Blanchimont. You know, respect to him. Even taking the racing line at Blanchimont.
Going into pits now. Very good driving by him.
Yeah. Good man, getting it into the pit lane. Gonna have a very long repair.
As I say, this on the Camel straight. Then is on the slipstream from Nigel, and Marcos on the Marcos overtaking both of the GTE drivers. Almost a crash there. He had to brake on the Camel straight just not to crash. Wow.
Well, it was more a point that he actually hit than at the GT. He went round the outside of the GT that sort of came McCline. He just obviously surprised the GT and a bit of contact, but nothing, too massive. So sort of put him on to get through, but a bit scary indeed, of course. Now those three are fighting for what is P9 overall. Which just shows the attrition rate in LMP2. We have G.E.A.R. There's another LMP2, that's Angelo Dos Santos getting his. Well, Angelo being very patient indeed. Nice to see the prototypes being as patient as they are. As Dennis actually went round the outside of Fagnet. Amazing, managed to make it work as well. So he makes it into 9th place now, getting past. Amazing drive, and now Chen is going to have a look at Middleton. Definitely he wants that place. He definitely wants that place indeed.
Nigel just overtaking from the grass.
Amazing driving. Yeah, pass on the grass, definitely indeed. Still had two wheels on the circuit, so he was still legal at that. But Dennis definitely wouldn't have had that. So, dived it down inside and made it work. And then Chen had a look, so. Definitely, as I said, GT's bringing the fight to everyone today. Really, really giving us some great racing. I just can't wait to see that Porsche turn into a GT3 car where it is going to sound phenomenal. You remember the old BMW Z4 GT3 car, the car that basically sounded like it was screaming while the Porsche is going to sound like it's being strangled at the same time and amplified with a megaphone. So definitely it's going to be something to keep an eye out for in the future, and I hope Porsche do make a GT3 version of it, and I really would love to actually see it racing. Coming through Lacon, you can tell who's got a more planted car. As Dennis actually got Nigel Middleton behind him. Middleton actually made a slight little error as well, so 4 cars fighting for P9 in class, which is actually fighting for P3 over in the class. Sorry, P9 overall, P3 in class. As Nigel actually made a mistake coming out of, well, it's the corner with no name. And side by side through Pouons, Chen went very, very wide indeed. And sort of what happens when you go around the outside, you sort of lose all grip and capability of turning, and the car doesn't exactly want to do what you ask it to. That's also something you have to remember with these cars. Definitely a lot more weight and a lot less grip than the LMP2. Sean Devlin's in the pit lane as well.
Angelo Dos Santos just going into pit lane.
Lap 20, definitely looking around that point, yeah. Oh wow, it's cool, and I'll call that out. But yeah, Dos Santos into the pit lane, other cars in the pit lane as well. Marcos Jr., this is probably about the time of the LMP2 pit stops. So definitely indeed, 45 minutes of the way through. This is coming towards the LMP2 stop, so any GT that comes in around now is definitely going to be looking at that, and is definitely doing a half tank run. Well, not half tank run, he's doing over a half tank run, but doing half the race. I think some GTs come in and come out. But now will be the question of when
Bartholomew just... What happened there?
Now he's been out of the pits for a while, so...
Yeah, he gone off track and I think he crashed into the barrier. Bartholomew, that was the race leader of the GT.
Yeah, no, he was the one crabbing himself back to the pit lane earlier, so he's been having some problems for probably about 10 minutes now. But
yeah,
definitely got more damage on that car, so definitely got to make his way back into the back to the pit lane as quick as possible. As I was saying, the question will now be, when does Paulo Lima come in? And another thing that's interesting, Dos Santos has jumped Van der Geest in that pit cycle, because Van der Geest is down to 4th. As well, as I said, that Paulo Lima came in, but Van der Geest is in 4th. Junior and Dos Santos are 2nd and 3rd, and they were in the pits, so they've jumped John somewhere. Obviously, remember pit stop times are going to be quite long here, because obviously you have the pit downs plus the fact that the fuel and tyres are done separately, so very much in this instance a long stop, unlike your Formula 1 where the fuel and tyres were done at the same time, so it took about 5 seconds.
Paulo Lima is still on the pit. Okay, just finished pitting. He's going out now. Have a look at the driver view.
Such a tight pit exit here. It's very much one that if you take it too fast, you're in the outside barrier, and you take it too slow, you're in the inside barrier. Now, it wasn't exactly the best pit exit. It's very much crossing over the white line.
Yeah.
Methinks many people do that. But you see how blind it is actually coming up over the road. You do not see anything until you hit the crest. And even that doesn't actually really give much of an indication of real life, because even then, real life is a lot more blind over that corner. So you're going, it's like with Brands Hatch, you'll see it on onboards, it looks like actually, as a matter of fact, you've got no vision at all, so you're pretty much blind as you hit the braking zone into paddock. But here it's pretty much the same, except you're pretty much full throttle going over radial, so it's pretty scary.
Oh yeah. Even in games, I could not imagine that in real life. That must be really scary.
You know, I think once you drive a circuit enough, you sort of remember how it drives, not how it drives, but how it feels. So you don't have to worry about it as much. But Jerry Chen is currently in P11 in GT, doing really great driving. He's been very consistent, been one of the more consistent drivers of the field. So doing a great job indeed, keeping that car going. Paulo Lima, miles ahead of him. He was in a class of his own. Really doing well. Amazing. It's just what I was saying. And that was also a BMW actually spotted off at the side of the circuit, I've just seen on the broadcast.
That was No, I think. No. I think that was like bits or something.
I think that there must have been some. Well, I think that was Mike Hightree actually. Yeah, it's nice to see the above volume he's got himself back going. John's gap's looking pretty decent at the moment. He's closing down, but you know he's taking his time in doing so.
Let's play the low game.
That car does look really nice. I really didn't want to say it, but it does look really nice.
Oh yeah, that skin looks really good.
He told me when we were he told me originally when I first spoke to him about doing this the broadcasting for this series. He said about the car having a skull on the nose, which it does. It has a skull on the very front of the nose. And he said, "Oh, if you see that on the side of the circuit, you can have a guess as to what happens." I said, "Oh, you've probably punted someone off." Well, he's still yet to do that. So he's proving he's already doing better than were at the start of the year.
Oh yeah.
But obviously that car does look absolutely amazing. The SimRacingOnline livery looking absolutely phenomenal on his car. And the fact it's on the rocker makes it 30 times better than ever. Coming through, just listening to the cars they come through, Puma is gorgeous.
Relaxing with his BMW, just having a look at the inside of Mike Hightree and no, not Mike Hightree. Sorry, Rob Milliken, and he got the move.
Now Barrett Ericsson running very highly in the GT field at the moment. Obviously, he's just been very silently climbing up the places throughout this race. He's been doing an absolutely phenomenal job this race.
Oh yeah.
Barrett doing a phenomenal job as well.
And Jerry Chen's still pushing his Porsche really strong to get Nigel's 4th position. Oh, and Nigel had a poor exit through bus stop. I think he's gonna have a look on the inside. Oh, no, he's not.
Yeah, with that two going through, you don't want to try and really make too many moves unless you know you can make it work.
Jerry's playing the long game. I think he has the speed on the straight. Let's see. The camo straight. Let's do the driver view there. You got the slipstream. Not quite.
Yeah, that Porsche very slippery in a straight. It's not slippery enough to get past that BMW. Absolutely gorgeous piece of kit, but just obviously not quick enough to get past the BMW that time by. We've got the back marker, well, sadly, back marker of Simon Marshall behind them. Simon's race not going well at all. Yeah, shame to see it going so badly so far.
As we say that, Rob Milliken took the position off Barrett Ericsson on a camo straight, and Barrett Ericsson just did the X. He got the position back.
Yeah, Rob Milliken actually went wide through Lake-Com, so very much having to take it off the circuit. So doing actually a great job by Barrett Ericsson. That Corvette really seeming to struggle here, but great to see that it's actually still running so well here so far.
Oh yeah. Look at Simon overtaking Jerry Chen.
Yeah, Simon actually unlapping himself from Jerry Chen.
Oh yeah.
So maybe partly to that. So obviously Simon, as I said, his race isn't going well at all, but Simon definitely has some pace in him when he's when he actually takes it seriously.
Ooh.
So
Jared Chan goes into pit. Nigel Middleton as well.
Yeah, it's about time for the for that pit cycle to come in for the GTs. Obviously, as I said, around an hour of the way through is when the GTs can come in and really take their pit stops. So it's, you know, that's when they're expected to take their pit stops. But obviously, a lot of people just really trying to play a weird fuel strategies to try and make it work. Obviously, so much more strategy is possible in the GTs compared to the LMP2s here.
Sorry, Alex, but it is a battle for 19th overall. On the Camel Straight, Simon looking on the outside. Is it enough to make a move? Oh yeah, on the outside, beautiful. Oh, lock up the brakes, off track. He's gonna, yeah, he gave the position back.
Yeah, Simon having to go across the inside, so just letting him, telling Sean Devlin through. It's very nice.
Let's have a look at Jared Chan as he is behind Mark Hightree, and he has a lot of speed. Having a look at the inside, he got the speed and he got the grip. 13th overall. I think Mark haven't even pitted yet. Let me have a look. Oh yeah. Oh, and as you say that, oh, big crash there with Joseph Wright and James Dziuba. He got into the rear left wheel and spun Joseph around.
Joseph's regen wasn't the safest either, but then again,
yeah.
Joseph now dropping a lap down overall, actually.
Ooh, okay.
That's how fast Paulo Lima is. He is now a lap.
Simon and Sean spun each other on bus stop there. Okay. Really respectful drivers. They gave the positions back, wait for each other, and yeah, race on.
Well, it's the thing. It's, you know, it's not as much easy competitively. Where the thing, it's very far, isn't it? They're fighting for 19th overall, and Simon's very much a guy who advocates fair racing, so he's very much, you know, will give places back if he feels he's completely mucked it up.
Yeah.
You know, I've known that for a while. Great to see that, and he's very much, that's very much won so well. Very much both advocate fair racing, so great to see those guys being really gentlemanly with each other. It's something you don't see nowadays in motorsport. It seems everyone would rather gap by about 3 years and see how much of a penalty they get, rather than just letting through and having nothing. They'd be more respected. But in the world, isn't it? As Carl Middleton is still in the pits with Alex Freitas. Just seeing Mark Hightree.
Brian Farley having a look on the outside of Mike Hightree, and he got the position, but can he hold the position? Yes, he can. Very fast Porsche. Very nice move from Brian. Got the Air Rouge just on point to have the high speed corner exit there to make the move on Mark.
Yeah, fighting for P12 overall. 2 Porsches and a Corvette. The Corvette just dropping down. Such a shame to see the Corvette dropping down so much, me being such a fan of it.
Yeah.
Not suited to this sort of circuit at all. It will definitely come good at maybe circuit in the Americas and definitely at Sebring and Le Mans, but just not suited to this sort of circuit at all. This is more for the European manufacturers.
Oh yeah.
But definitely still an amazing job by Mark Hightree to keep that car going so high up the order so far. Melcher in and out of the pit lane in 7th place overall. Now if I'm right, he's still leading and he hasn't lost the lead even with the pit stop. They're doing a phenomenal job out front. But looking at, you know, the overall leader, you know, Paulo Lima, currently with what I believe that is 74 seconds of a lead. I've just seen the broadcast. I believe that was him going very wide on the outside.
A P2 car, yeah?
Yeah, about the outside of the GT is very, very scary indeed. Probably for the really GTs cool. In that. But very much something very scary to watch.
Let's go for a driver's view with Brian Falley as he goes into the Air Rouge. He wants that position, man. I see it. Look. He's got the slipstream. Can he make it? I think he's too far back. Yeah, too far back.
Yeah, and with the slipstream, I believe that Sean Devlin giving Chen slipstream as well just wasn't going to happen. But just looking at the rear view mirror, to the rear view camera as well, whilst that was going on, just so cool. Like with the fact that, like with how that looks. So that rear camera, obviously. Piloted originally by the Corvette squad. I remember I was watching on board the Corvette, and mainly the reason why I started driving Corvettes because I had that rear camera whilst everyone else really didn't have anything useful at all. So
yeah, that thing is developed by Intel. Is really, really cool. Really, really cool piece of technology. Helps the drivers immensely.
Yeah, I remember back in, if you can remember old like sort of videos from Le Mans riding on board with that Corvette GTE, and you would see the LMP1 just flash up behind it with the arrow, and the arrow would instantly point which way it was, so the driver knew which side to stay on. And that is something phenomenal to have as a piece of kit, especially as a GT driver needing to know where everyone is. And especially if you've got another GT car behind you, just slightly out of your view, you know, if you can't see him on the camera, you can't see him in the mirror, you know, just slightly out of your view in your blind spot, it's really nice to be able to, you know where he is.
Mark Hightree is closing in the gap.
Yeah, definitely got Angelo Dos Santos behind them as well, so...
Ooh, contact with the back marker.
Yeah, contact with Sean Devlin. Ooh, yeah, bit of argy-bargy, and then a bit of contact with both of them, and that nearly spun him off. But Hightree, you know, led him very much off the throttles to let Brian just keep himself going. very much a bit of a clumsy area, but, you know, allowed the LMP2 through as well, so... They're now safe for another lap.
Let's have a go on Mark's Hightree car.
Yeah, Rob Milliken's in the pit lane as well in the GT, so he's dropping down the order whilst these guys fight. The Corvette cockpit, one that hasn't actually changed for multiple years of its existence. I don't think that cockpit and that layout has changed since the early thousands. But just looking here, just the gap.
Oh, okay. Sean Devlin just closed the door for Brian Farley there. Almost ended Brian Farley's race there, and got punted off track.
I think he realised he was there to turn left last minute, and that's why he speared off to the left to circuit. So. A bit of a lapse in concentration, or a bit of a lapse in knowing where he was. But just looking at how much steering input Mark Hightree is putting into that Corvette, it looks like he's overturning that car. But Sean Devlin still continuing on. He's nearly there, but Hightree's nearly full lock.
Yeah, as we see John Van der Gies just overtaking Mark Hightree. Approaching the Porsche now, just overtaking the Porsche. That car is really pretty, man.
I don't know, there's so much steering lock on that Corvette, that's where I think he's losing time, because as much as the old rFactor logic was to do that, and it was quicker, it's not anymore, and that's what people don't realise, the new tyre model and everything else.
Yeah.
Because there was an update for it, and there was a public release of it. it doesn't work driving like that anymore. Even though I found that out quite quickly. More GTE cars coming into the pit lane as well. This is pretty much seeming to be the main GTE pit cycle, but obviously different people running different strategies.
And we are now approaching the last. We are now at the last 30 minutes of the race. Everyone's gonna get fuel. Everyone's gonna get fresh tires, and they're gonna lap the fastest laps of their lives because they need a position, right?
Well, I was about to say, anyone that hasn't pitted will be pitting around now, because you know, for GTs especially, the final half hour of the race, definitely one that will be, you know, this will be towards the end of the full tank stint for GTE, so definitely something, definitely the time for them to come in. Remember doing another an IMSA style series, and that was very much a fuel strategy game with GTEs.
Oh yeah.
Trying down the east laps, Nigel Middleton. Nigel Middleton currently in 10th place. 4th place in GT, doing a really great job. Mark Hightree in 7th. Brett Metcalf in 8th in GT actually, so he's climbing up a bit after the spin he had early on. Really great driving by these guys just to keep these cars going towards the end. That's all you need to do. I haven't seen Brett Metcalf. I've only seen him do like GT3 racing, so I don't remember seeing him doing World GT here. So the first time I've seen him driving a GT car around Spa, he's doing a really good job to see him there, but he has got experience obviously.
Yeah.
Now, Paulo Lima, last lap, was a second, 1.3, sorry, slower than Marcus Jr. So that gap is coming down.
Oh yeah.
It seems.
Marcus is
now. Is that a case of Paulo fuel saving? Is it a case of him just being careful?
Yeah, I think he's saving, probably saving tires or saving fuel. Just going a little bit slow because he has the 19-second gap between him and Marcos.
Yeah, definitely, and with another 25-ish seconds back to Dos Santos in 3rd place, definitely not much to push for, and Paulo Lima definitely doing a really great job. Lights to flag actually leading so far. And I think he earned, from what I remember, it's Marcos Jr. who's got the fastest lap, so if Paulo Lima, sorry, can get that fastest lap, the only thing he's going to be missing is the pole, and that's it. It would have been almost a perfect weekend for him. A lot of the GTEs coming into the pits for their final stops, so towards the final part of the race now, very much a case of just relaxing, letting everyone get to the end without any problems, and just casually chilling out, relaxing, and just talking about the race we've had today, which has been a very, very good race, I think.
Oh yeah, I agree, I completely agree with you. Look at that. Paulo Lima just flat out through your Rouge.
Absolutely amazing. It's what you expect in LMP2. Flat out through Rouge. You can imagine what the LMP1s would be like through here on board. Just look at the speed difference between the LMP2 and GT. I was completely wrong. I had a difference, but it feels like that feels more like a rebellion than it does an LMP2 in fact.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they do have LMP1. They might have maybe done a P3 privateer. You never know. But no, obviously 397 are officially releasing it as the LMP2, which is a shame. I wish they could have gotten the P1 license to even just have the Rebellion, because that is an Orica, remember? So you could have got that license as well as a double barrel, but we'll see what the future brings. They might even update it if we're lucky.
I cannot wait for the Gen 2 cars to come into rFactor 2, the Formula E cars. That's one thing that I cannot wait.
The current Formula E cars are in rFactor 2 already, the current ones, and they are fun to drive.
I mean,
they seem really...
Yeah, they
seem really simple and really easy, but they're not.
Yeah, they are not. They run on street tires and they're really slidey.
And if you shift, even if you shift down, even just slightly too quick. So, well, that's what I've noticed anyway.
Oh yeah.
I'm always the one that does the crash testing, so I've actually got to sit down and properly drive these cars at some point because I've not managed to find the time. But these cars definitely seem a lot of fun to drive.
Nigel Middleton just closing in the gap with Brian Farley now.
Yeah, Nigel Middleton definitely out. BMW coming really strong in this the late part of the race. Really great to see. It's amazing sort of where these cars find their strengths and weaknesses. These guys.
Let's go for a for a cockpit lap with the GT leader John Melica.
In that very, very green BMW.
Oh yeah, coming to Eau Rouge. Yep. Very fast Eau Rouge for sure. Into the Camel Straight.
Yeah, that BMW seemed really planted through Ocean Radio.
Braking close to the underboard on Les Combes.
Yeah,
a little bit too deep.
Yeah, very, very easy to lose your braking point, even slightly at that corner, but still very easy to manage indeed. And I think we've got pretty much. Oh, there was the LMP2 leader going through.
Oh yeah.
Very, very indeed. But very, very close indeed to all the LMP2 braking points. And even John Melica putting a lot of steering lock in that car.
Oh yeah.
Watching that car and how planted it is through Pouillon.
That into Les Wagner. There is an LMP2 car right on the back of John Melica's BMW. Yep, he gave in the inside.
Yeah, that's Angelo Dos Santos actually.
Yeah, that's
that, I think.
Not very far away from Marco Juniors, right?
Yeah, Angelo really being very polite there. Actually, he could have really made a stupid move on the outside, but lets the GT continue his line and race.
Yeah,
that's sort of that's the driving you want to see in multi-class racing, but. You guys look at something like this, you'll see the LMP2 dive bombing left, right and centre, which they sort of have to do.
Now into the chicane. First gear, not a lot of throttle. To the start-finish line. Very good.
Yeah, very, very nice and smooth lap. Just shows why he is so far in the lead of GT.A.
Let's have a look on the battles. Brian Farley right on the Jerry Chen's back. He gets a look on the inside. Doesn't complete the move, but he's right on there. Really close indeed.
Yeah, Nigel Middleton definitely is going to be watching this and going, if these two make any mistakes, I'm going to have a very nice chance of pretty much going through on the inside. He's definitely going to be looking at that and going, oh, please give me.
Oh yeah.
He'll be rubbing whatever he can with glee because he left after with the amount of time he's driving. But those three sort of spread themselves out after the line.
Oh, Nigel just catching the grass there on the exit, blanking on the chicane.
Yeah.
Good run by Brian Farley. He got the fastest, not the fastest, but the quick corner exit there.
Yeah, definitely. There's also an MP2 closing in as well, one of the JDC cars. It's either the leader or second place, Marcos Jr. I'm assuming that'll be Marcos is not far ahead of Nigel, as they weren't far ahead of.
Brian got the better line, a faster corner exit there. Is he on the?
Yeah.
He's on the slipstream.
he'll have it better because he got very lucky because Chen got held by the LMP2 that sort of cut down his inside in the entry of Eau Rouge.
Not quite the speed to late break. Jerry Chen's Porsche. Oh, very loose onto the exit of Malmedy.
Yeah, very close indeed. He's obviously coming to Rivage. It's surprising how much the car can snap away from you on the exit of.
Oh yeah.
On the exit of. Because even though there's not really much weight change from the exit Les Combes into Malmedy, but it still seems like the weight transfer is happening at the same time. So it's very much a corner where anything will happen and go wrong at the same time. It's amazing how planted some of these cars are.
And Nigel Middleton is just watching, just sticking back there, waiting for an error, waiting for an opportunity to make a move on Brian Filey, and he's very close.
That BMW does look
WMA. Look, he got the speed. Very
much, and a lot of overspeed in that Beamer. Through Franchorchamps is very, very close
to the chicane. Nigel Middleton just playing the long game, waiting for an error, waiting for an opportunity.
That's going to run out if he's not careful, and if he wants to take fourth place, he's going to have to push a bit harder because there's not much time left. Not much time left at all. Coming towards the end of the race. Not long left whatsoever.
To Eau Rouge. Oh. Nigel Middleton just going a little bit too deep. LMP2 car there. Who is it? Is it James? It is James Ziuba on 5th place overall. 5th place on LMP2, sorry.
He's sort of been in his own little race after that early point where he had the accident with, I think it was Marcos Jr.
Yeah.
So he's sort of been on his own, pretty much the majority of the race, just keeping it clean, coming home and taking the points that he needs to. Doing an amazing job as he is.
Have a look at driver's view on Nigel's car.
Marcos Jr. is still the fastest lap this race by a second. Currently running about 2 seconds quicker than Paulo Lima as well, so that gap is going to be coming down very, very quickly. Obviously, not much time left.
Yeah,
in this race.
As we approach the last 15 minutes, 15 minutes on the clock now.
Very, very close in.
Brian Farley making the move.
Very much
place.
getting. Oh yeah, definitely, and even Nigel Middleton nearly taking the 5th place as well. So very, very close. Another prototype behind them to navigate. Marcos Jr. very close indeed. He's going to let off. Yeah, he's going to let off. Go up. Ready also. Very calmly letting those guys get on with their race this time. I think he's calmed down a bit now. He's realised I completely mucked my race up, and the only chance I have is by driving smoothly. I think by driving smoothly, he's realised that John Van der Geest is in the pit lane. As John Van der Geest run out of fuel.
Oh no.
Because he's in the pit lane with 15 minutes to go. Unless he's mucked up his fuel calculations, which in genuine honesty wouldn't surprise me. He's come out of the pit lane, but it wouldn't have surprised me. He's now dropped down. He's still in 4th, but he's lost a lot of time. And then he hopes for a podium.
And I think Nigel made a mistake, because he's not in the battle for top 5 anymore. Look, he's very far away from Jerry Chen now. Ooh,
Probably had a
braking
small
too
little...
deep, going off track a little bit.
He was more focused about the prototype in his mirrors, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Nigel making some of those crucial errors towards the end of the race.
We're in the battle for 17th overall. Paul Ansley and Rob Milligan. 2 Corvettes there.
This is for P10 over. This is for P10 in class. The very smiley face Paul Anstey's car of Paul Anstey.
Oh yeah.
I didn't notice it had the smiley face emojis on it until I really actually looked closely at it. But Paul Anstey very much looking quick towards the end of this race.
But in the slipstream, he's gonna try too wide onto the Blacky Mode. Too wide there. He's gonna. Oh, okay. He backs off too. Then oh my God! That was Rob Milligan makes a mistake. No.
Yeah. Paul Anstey very smart. Yeah, definitely. Now that might have been netcode. That may have been a bit of netcode or a bit of lag, because that looked very much like something was connecting there, because it's very rare for the car just to lose it like that.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, those cars have a lot of downforce. That's like almost impossible to lose the rear end like that on that corner at that high speed of
It's
corner.
not, but it's not. But with how close Nigel was, I wouldn't be hesitant to say it might have been netcode, but
yeah,
you never know. Rob Milligan doing a really great job so far. But that was 4P10 in class. So Paul Anstey now P10.
Ericsson very strong to the camera.
Over radio.
Oh, I think Nigel has problems with his car.
Very slow. Oh, he nearly pulls into John Van Der. He's nearly pulled into John Van Der. He's coming to make come. That was very sketchy there. Nigel must have a problem. But what that's also meant that he's now fighting Paul Anstey. So that Corvette looking pretty tasty for a P9.
Very happy. It's my car.
Right, Marcos Jr. and James Zubia are in the pit lane. And so is Angelo Dos Santos. So this could be where we were saying Paulo Lima was saving fuel. And I think Marcos realised my only chance to get really high in speed and force Paulo to pit. But I don't think that's going to work. Now the question is, will Van der Geest jump those guys? He's not going to jump Marcos. And he's not going to jump Dos Santos, from what I can see.
Yeah. Dos Santos just left the pits, and Marcos as well. John Van der Geest still doing the lassos. Yep.
Yeah, so John Van der Geest.
Oh, as we see, Bartolomeu just spinning, just gave too much throttle too early on the chicane and spun his Porsche around. A lot of mistakes from Bartolomeu there.
Yeah, then hits the wall trying to get the car around. Nigel Middleton in the pit lane, so game over for him. Any chance of a top 10 is over for Nigel. Really a shame, he was running really well.
Oh yeah.
But Rob Milligan back to the top 10. Paul Anstey P9 It was very close with Sean Devlin there.
As Paul Ansley just closing, Ansley is just closing into Barrett Ericsson.
Yeah, this is the P8 in class, so this, Barrett Ericsson, may lose a place here.
Yeah,
Very close indeed.
We got 9 minutes left on the clock.
So under 10 minutes to go. Paul Anstey looking very racy in that Corvette. Seems that Corvette's coming into its own in the late game.
Let's have a look on the driver's view.
I've also just noticed something else on that skin, the learner plate on the back of it.
Very funny, man.
Paul Anstey with a little learner. It's on the rear right, just under the brake light. It's got a small little learner sticker on the back of it. Absolutely glorious little sticker on it. As Marcos Jr. back in the pit lane. Why is Marcos in the pit lane?
Oh.
He's lost out the place to Dos Santos.
Oh, Van der Gees on the pit lane.
Oh dear.
Ooh.
Have they crashed into each other? No, they haven't.
They haven't.
Or something, haven't they?
Let's go back to Paul Ansley there.
Now, have they got a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane is the question.
Probably.
With John, it wouldn't surprise me that he forgot to hit the button early enough, but Marcos very lucky that John had to come in as well. Brett Metcalf pits with less than 10 minutes to go. This fight between Anstey and Ericsson has got Simon Marshall very close in that rear view camera. Simon Marshall trying to unlap himself, and there's John Van der Gees at the same time.
Oh! Barrett Ericsson just crashing there. Paul Ansley almost loses his car. Oh my god.
Like Simon would have been clenching everything he could, just praying he didn't get involved.
And Barrett has damage. Look at his steering wheel.
Yeah.
Very crooked there.
45 degrees suspension damage that looks like.
Oof.
He'll get that back to the pit lane and he'll finish this race. Where he finishes will be another question. He put Sean Devlin on the grass, so that was quite funny. Sean Devlin trying to unlap himself. Absolutely beautiful piece of kit that that Golf Porsche.
Oh yeah.
Takes you back to the early 70s, and even though it's run nowadays, it still takes me back to the early 70s. Paulo Lima's last lap was a 2:11.
Ooh.
That is a whopping 7 seconds slower than Angelo. But I think he knows he's not really got to do much more to finish this race in the lead.
Paulo Lima
he
must be only cruising by now, just having a nice chill cruise around the track, not pushing his car or anything.
Yeah, he's about 1:10 ahead of everyone else. He's not got much to worry about, so I think he's just bringing that car home as safely as he can do while saving fuel. So great driving by Paulo Lima to keep that car so far out front, doing a really great job of it indeed.
Oh, going into pits. Paulo Lima going into pits.
Now that doesn't mean that he was driving safe for a reason. He was saving as much fuel as he could probably,
Yeah.
so he could take on the least amount at the end of the race. Seems NP2 consumes to just under 45 minutes on a tank here. Into the pit lane he goes, so it'll be interesting to see how much the gap. Well, he's already out of the pit lane, so didn't need much fuel at all. So cool seeing the cars jump as they come over Eau Rouge. Sorry, over Radion. As John
Melica.
has lapped. Yeah, he has lapped the majority of the GT field now.
Yeah.
As Joseph Wright pits in, well, from one of the last of the Oricas. I think it's the last one running. Yeah, it's the last
Honestly, is just
running.
looking for the 14th place overall on Rob Milliken.
That means
Losing
no,
it.
because that means he's lost. That means he's lost that place again because he was ahead of Rob Milliken earlier.
Yeah.
So where he lost that position, I do not know.
Oh, Rob Milliken made a mistake and easy move, easy position for ball and stay.
Yeah, easy job and easy overtake. Nicely done indeed. I still love the fact that's got a learner sticker on it. I'm really sorry, it still makes me laugh. Yeah, Paolo Lima, last lap, coming through the second sector, setting style laps and all of his best, but pretty expected really, coming towards the very end of the race and just really relaxing now.
2 minutes left on the clock. He's gonna complete his 42nd lap.
That is absolutely, well, he's going to be starting his 42nd
Yeah,
lap,
he's starting his 42nd lap.
And with 2 minutes to go, if you said this would be the final lap of the race. If I'm right in you saying there was 2 minutes left. Coming down, it's a very nicely driving by Paolo Lima, just letting the GTs take their lines, not having any risks. Timer about to drop to 0 anytime soon. So it'll be very touch and go at the line whether Paolo actually does have to do another lap or not. Because I'm right in saying that you said there was 2 minutes left, didn't I, Matteo?
Oh, yep. John Melica just lapped everyone on the GT class.
Wow.
On his very, very green M8 GT.
You sure he's lapped everyone? Because he's still got Cody Elby and Dennis Pimerov that are on the same lap on.
Oh yeah, never mind. It's just overlay here. It's just
He's still got a couple of cars left, don't worry.
yeah, just a couple.
The Paolo Lima lapped Barrett Ericsson.
We have officially 1 minute and 5 seconds to go. Now 1 minute.
Now,
1 minute to go.
a minute left, and Paolo Lima's not in the third sector yet. Where is he? He is coming through out of Stavolo. So he's coming towards Blanchimont. He's got Sean Devlin in front of him. It is going to be very, very touch and go as to how many more laps we have left. Tell me when the timer hits 0.
Alright, we have 40 seconds left.
We might have one more lap in this race. We go to the outboard camera, just in case. He's come across the line.
25 seconds left.
One more lap to go. This is the final lap of this race. Paolo Lima starting his final lap here. We weren't sure how close we'd be to the 0 mark. So everyone has got to do one final lap, and I think everyone's going to be hating him for that.
5,
As he comes
4,
over
3, 2, 1, 0. Just the clock just hit at 0.
So the clock hits 0, and the race will be checkered flag this time along the line, which will mean that Paolo Lima, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, he's got 22 seconds in hand. If he doesn't make a mistake, he will come home to win this race here. Down through Rivage.
Very, very chill last lap.
Yeah, into the corner with no name. Out of the corner with no name. On the run towards Blanchimont. Oh, sorry, not Blanchimont. Pouon. Through the midst of Pouon. It's been a race full of chaos, full of disruption, full of racing, and has been one of a very, very great way to start off the broadcasted season of the SimRacingOnline G.E.A.R Multiclass Endurance Pack Championship. As he comes into the final sector now, Paulo Lima makes his run down towards Blanchimont. Through Blanchimont, on the curb, into the chicane.
He's out of the chicane on the final stretch.
Across the line. Victory. Paulo Lima will win the first race of the championship.
The line in first place. Followed by Angela dos Santos out of Blanchimont into the chicane.
Santos, who comes around the final corners
to the last straight.
The line, and will take second place this race.
Followed by Marcos Jr. onto Blanchimont. Oh, he spun the car on the penultimate corner. Wow.
Oh no.
Come on, Marcos. Come on, Marcos. You still have third place, Marcos. Come on.
Where's Van der Geest? Because Van der Geest is the only one that could take the podium off him.
Off Blanchimont. Onto the oh no. Almost there, Van der Geest. Marcos Jr. in third place. Crossing the line now.
Marcos Jr. A victory, it could have been.
By Van der Geest.
P3. Van der Geest will come home P4. An amazing drive by the Dutchman to finish P4. P5 will be Joseph Wright. And P6 and the last of the finishers will be James Zubia.
Which is still on Camel Straight.
But in GT, John Melishar will take the victory from Cody EB and Dennis Pimenov.
Look at that, John Van der Geest doing donuts on the La Sauce. Very nice, he must be really happy on that position.
He's doing it on the track though, that's not the best place, John. There's about 3 miles of runoff right in front of you. But GTE wise, Cody Eby by John Melishar by about a minute won over Cody Eby and Dennis Pimenov. And it was Brian Fairley from Jerry Chen, Mark Hightree, Paul Amsty, Barrett Erickson, Rob Milliken, Carl Steege, Simon Marshall, Nigel Middleton, Brett Metcalf, Bartholomew Slobodian, Sean Devlin, Carl Middleton was retired, alongside Tien Swart, Alex Freitas, Tony Tavite, Johnny Gutierrez, Maxime Borisov, and Lance Link.
Which was the pole position for the GT class and got out of the race on the first, not the first lap, on the the beginning laps.
Yeah, the first few laps of this race.
Yeah.
But what a race this has been. A very mixed bag of events this round. Pole sitters, neither of the pole sitters actually winning the race at all. Both actually one having a screen freeze that cost him the lead, and one just making some small little mistakes over the course of the race that caused him problems. It'll be very interesting to see what happens next time out, but obviously that we will have to see later on. But definitely one of those races that we can definitely say was pretty interesting indeed. But obviously a lot of chaos went on, and a lot of chaos, we have to talk about. Obviously, the main fact is Marcos Jr. throwing away a race win really early on with just multiple mistakes he made. And, that pretty much cost him the victory. And then Paulo Lima just showing his dominance, keeping the laps seriously consistent. his laps running in the 2:0, like 2:0 multiple. Just looking at his laps, were absolutely phenomenal. This race, very consistent. 2:05, 2:04s, 2:03s. You know, pretty consistently. And in his second stint, you know, 2:04s, 2:03. So really consistent laps by Paulo Lima. Amazing ride by him. But once again, you know, John Mellichar, absolutely dominant. Would have been amazing to see what he could have done against Lance Link through that race with how quick those two were. And just a shame to see that Lance Link had that problem with his game where it screen freeze and cost him, you know, took him out of this race, cost him what could have been a victory. But John van der Geest finishing in 4th place, nearly a podium, but if Marcos had been stationary for any longer. But just looking down the order, the highest GT was P7 in the end, which was John Mellichar. So P7, 7th place overall for a GT, meaning only 6 LMP2s finished, which is something very, very unusual to see. But of course, it is what happens, and what we do now have is we will now obviously means that Paulo Lima will go into the second race as the title leader in LMP2, which would be very intriguing to see indeed. Just trying to keep, trying to just get up the next round, which obviously will be at Le Mans, a 2-hour race, starting the same time as it did tonight, with the and hopefully the same guys signed up. But once again, I have to thank you, Matteo, for coming for what has been a pretty chaotic race.
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of action, a lot of change of positions, a lot of crashes. Very unfortunate DNFs. We never like to see that, and we just wish that we can finish a full grid. And yeah, I'm really sad for the guys that had DNF for problems or just, you know, hardware problems or anything related to that. And yeah, Alex.
Yeah, and obviously we will return in what I believe is 2 weeks' time. I'm just going to make sure and get my date. What I believe is 2 weeks' time,
September
same
16th.
time. Same time, same place, just on a different date. September the 16th. We'll be moving across the border very slightly and heading to one of the most prestigious circuits on the planet, the Circuit de la Sarthe, here at the Le Mans. I have been Alex Skinner. I have had Matheus Marçal be absolutely phenomenal once again with whilst I was having issues with my game. Thank you for joining me tonight, Matteo, and until next time, it will be goodbye from me.
Goodbye. Thank you for joining, guys. I'll see you in the next week. Laters.